Hello my friends, here's my Nissan truck. It's a Titan and it's 13 years old. Fenders were rusting around the wheel wells and the option was to do the body work or stop the rust and put these fender flares on. And this was a cheap way to do the repair, and it was a lot quicker. The flares I've purchased on the internet, $185 for the set. They installed pretty easy. A few difficult things is installing this rubber. This took probably more time to put onto the flare before it went onto the truck. The installation of these, they went on pretty quick. I would say you could do them in an afternoon. The difficulties that I ran into was, first of all, you have to remove the mud flaps that came with the truck, and to do that the tires have to come off. So that's probably one of the more difficult things. And then some of the points where they have the holes for the mounting screws, a few line up, others don't, and because of that I had to drill and mount my own holes. That is not difficult to do. It only took a few minutes to do that. The alignment here for the gas cap, this area here is difficult to put that rubber gasket on, so that may give a little bit of problem with that installation. Other than that, the installation went very quick. All the work done in the afternoon, other than prepping the rust. And if you can see right in this area here, there is some rust and I need to do repair just because of cosmetics. Since the rust does not go into the cab, not a problem with the truck for safety or inspection. So 13-year-old, I'm going to do quick minimum body work, and let me show you how I'm going to repair this. There's no rust on the front fenders, but the back fenders I need to take care of this blistering. And what I do is I take a ball peen hammer and I tap on it, and it will break out the scale, the rust scale. And then we have to do something to keep it from continuously rusting. Rest is pretty solid. Now, to stop any additional rusting, you need to prep the metal. And these two products both are phosphoric acid base. Phosphoric acid does an amazing job stopping rust, and it leaves a rust-proof barrier. So either one of these are basically the same. So with this one I'll use a brush. With this one I can mist it or spray. I can spray it into those areas on the inside of the fender well where I can't reach. So we're going to do both of these, and then after it finishes working and dries, then I'm going to use an undercoating. You want to use this outdoors? Wear glasses. And you can see the reaction. It's foaming. It's converting the rust. Now we let that work, keep it wet for about 30 minutes, and then we wash it off, let it dry, and then we're ready to continue with the undercoating. After the phosphoric acid has been applied and it's dried, now I'm going to touch the metal up with paint. And then hit it with undercoating. This is the spray undercoating that I used after I prepped and primed the metal or the rusted areas, and this went on real nice. I wasn't able to show it, the video didn't take at that portion, but it goes on and kind of foams, and then it dries with this rubberized coating. I did this on both the outside and the inside of the areas affected. Here I had some fender liner come in the mail, and this is what I am going to put on my wheel wells. And they're wrapped, they're covered in a plastic protective lining, and they're supposed to be in a condition that you can paint right over them. So I have one for each wheel well, front and back, and these are going to cover the rust on those two wheel wells on the rear. The front, there's no rust, so I'm going to put these on just to dress the truck up. So let's go about patching or stopping the additional rust on those back wheel wells. The fenders came with this kit. It contains nuts, bolts, and these are stainless, and washers. There's a wrench for the bolts. It has fender clips, and it has this wiper type vinyl, and this is for the edge, and this creates the seal between the fender guard and the body of the truck. And there's an adhesive inside this. That adhesive locks it onto the fender liner. Here you can see one of the fender flares. Now it looks like it's all tore up. This is how it came out of the package. But what this is a protective plastic sheathing that's over top, and you can see here that the fender is in perfect condition. So that has to come off before you put the bolts on. So that's our next step. Okay, we put bolts in here. These bolts are purely cosmetic. There is no structure that these are going to hold into. So you have a stainless bolt, stainless washer, and there is a Loctite nut, and of course that's also stainless. So that's started, and an Allen wrench is provided, and we'll snug them up. After we get all the bolts in, next we have to put this gasket on the upper edge. This is what seals the fender flare to the body of the truck. Okay, and if you look close inside, there's a red tape. That's the adhesive tape that will stick this on permanently onto the fender or the flare. So what you want to do here is pull a little bit of the adhesive liner off, without removing the adhesive. This is a double-sided tape. Pull a couple inches off like that. And as I feed it on, I'm peeling the tape off. On the front, these mud flaps need to be removed, and these screws here have to be taken out, and the same on the front right in here. This one needs out. And what I found is the one in the center right over top of the wheel in this area, you can't really work it unless you have the wheel off or have it jacked up. And so what I'm doing is on the sides I'll drill my own holes and screw them in there. Six screws were removed, and here you can see this one I can't reach. It's directly over top of the tire, but I put screws in on either side, and this extra one here is locking it tight against the fender. The other screws match perfectly. And there you can see the front fender installed. Okay, the wheels have to come off so that these fenders or splash guards, mud flap, has to be removed, and I can't get a screwdriver in there. So by taking the wheel off, that'll give me room. Well, 240,000 miles on this truck. Still looks in good shape. Needs a washing. It'll bring it back to a like new condition. We'll see if I can get another 100,000 to 200,000 miles out of this vehicle. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.